Today's video is about Surah 3, which is chapter 3, verse 103. But I'm going to start with verse 102 because they kind of like go together, and it comes right after, right? It says, O you who believe, this is 102, fear Allah as he should be feared and die not except in the state of Islam. And like I said in the other video, when you hear, O you who believe in the Quran, it's speaking specifically to you, to the Muslim, right? So Allah is saying, do not die unless you die in the state of Islam. Then he goes on to say, and hold fast all of you together to the rope of Allah, right? A lot of times in the Quran, you're going to see parables and examples that Allah is painting a picture because the Arabs were illiterate when the Quran was revealed. So anybody, that's why the Quran is so easy to understand, because Allah paints a lot of pictures that anybody can get. So it says, hold fast all of you together to the rope of Allah. You know what that look like. You play tug of war. Some of y'all play tug of war or climb the rope in gym class. You got to hold on tight, right? And the rope of Allah is his Quran, his legislation, his covenant, his religion, what he gave us, right? It says, and do not be divided amongst yourselves. This is very, very, very important. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that the Muslim nation will be divided into 73 sects. And he said all of them are in the hellfire except one. He said, the one which I and my companions are upon. He didn't say just him. He said him and his companions. This is why it's important for us to listen to what the companions have to say, right? So he says, do not divide yourself, which is one of the things that we're doing today. And then he goes on to say, and remember Allah's favor on you, for you were enemies one to another, but he joined your hearts together so that by his grace you became brethren, right? So this verse was revealed about these two tribes, Aus and Khazraj, Arab tribes. They used to be fighting each other before Islam came. They used to have beef and deep hatred and enmity for one another. And they used to be killing each other and doing all type of stuff to each other. But when Islam came, it brought their hearts together, right? It made them put aside all the things, all the beefs, all the quarrels, all the situations that might have led them to be killing each other. It helped them put those things aside. And those things apply to anybody who wholeheartedly embraces Islam. It applies to gangs. I seen men in prison, even in the streets, who were blood, who were Crip, who were Lion King, who were Patria, who were all type of walks of life, all different gangs, all different tribes, come under one banner of Islam. This is the power. Allah says he is the one who joined their hearts together. And another verse, it says that if you had spent all that you had, you would not be able to put their hearts together. So Allah, this is his mercy, right? How he made us become brothers and put all those things aside. And then he goes on to say, and you were on the brink of the pit of the fire and he saved you from it. Meaning that a lot of us used to disbelieve. A lot of us didn't believe in God. And the moment we believed, we kind of like achieved salvation from the hellfire, right? And then it says, thus Allah makes clear his ayats, his signs to you, that you may be guided. So I just wanted to share that because it's a very important verse. Allah is telling us in the Quran, do not divide ourselves. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he also said that the hand of Allah is with the congregation. Meaning, stick with the community. This is the only way you're going to achieve salvation after becoming a Muslim. You have to stick with the believers. You have to stick with the Muslims. Because the Muslim is going to remind you, you got to pray, bro. The Muslim is going to remind you. He's going to give you advice when you're doing the wrong thing. When you're veering off, the Muslim is going to remind you. So it's very important to keep Muslim friends. It's very important to keep going to the mosque, to get in, stay in tune with the community. It's very important to stay amongst the community if you're trying to survive the onslaught, because there's a lot of stuff going on out there. And you're going to be tested in your faith. So this is very important. Do not divide yourselves. And also recognizing the favor and the mercy, how Allah has made us brothers and he made us love one another and appreciate each other and help one another in goodness. So hopefully we take heed. Let me know your thoughts if y'all have any. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.